Let's go, girls. Hey there, baby dolls. Welcome to 1 o'clock. We want to get your weekend started right. Bron and I have had a big day of recording today, but you know what? We've had a wonderful time. I've had a wonderful time anyway.
I've had a great time. My mum's at my house. We're probably wondering where I am. I said I'll be home at lunchtime, Mum.
Yeah.
It's ages ago.
It's ages ago. Lunchtime was ages ago. Lunchtime was yesterday.
Lunchtime was, oh my God.
Can I just say this? Lunchtime is a state of mind.
Get
over it.
It's a human construct.
Get over it. It's a human construct.
It literally is.
Actually, get over it. That's what I would say about that.
Lunchtime.
Hey, lunchtime. Grow up.
Have you ever done intermittent fasting?
No. I kind of fast every day because I don't have breakfast.
Oh, yeah?
Ever. So I just have I don't probably eat until 12 or 1. So it's probably the same thing.
Oh, yeah, it's
fasting.
the same thing.
I don't think about it, but it's fasting.
Yeah,
do you do
fasting.
it? Because you look, can I say this? Your body is rocking.
Don't say that to me, Sammy. I'm trying to get on with my life. Normally. Oh my God. Oh my God.
All of the sound effects have sounded there.
Okay, for those who did not see what happened.
If you're not watching the YouTube right now, that's a good time to watch the YouTube.
Yeah, Sammy, how you've set this up is absolutely
because
bananas.
we ran out of space on the cameras, and I wanted to make sure this was working. I don't even know if you're in shot right now. That's hilarious. This is really good. And you know what? This is called provincialism.
I'm just going to take a photo.
Have you ever heard of provincialism?
I'm just going to take a photo of you holding it.
Have you ever heard of provincialism? Because provincialism is what it's all about. And that's what love is all about. Because you know what? We're having a great time recording these. But sometimes, I'll tell you what, once we record for 2 hours, sometimes it runs out of space. Sometimes there's bits and pieces that stuff up. And you know what? We've had a great time with it. I think you're fine. I think you're
I'm not in it at all.
Wide.
What?
You're quite wide. It's quite a wide shot.
Can I tell you something that happened to me recently? I went to a storytelling night.
Yes.
Have you ever been to one?
I have been to many storytelling nights.
Oh, they're great. Yeah. I love stories because your comedy has a lot of stories.
I'm a big story guy.
And my comedy has a lot of stories in it.
Yes.
Before I did comedy, I started storytelling.
Why'd you do bunny ears when you said comedy for me? Your comedy. Your comedy. Comedy.
It's a good try.
Thank you.
And so I started storytelling and then I moved into comedy and then I haven't been to a storytelling night for a really long time. And then I went to one last night after just going to comedy for ages.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, oh God. Right. Am I have to hold this now?
No, I'm going to just put it over here. This is good.
And then this goes over here.
Yeah, you're good. You're learning.
Never have to do this for work, it's
great. All right. So
how do I know it's on?
I'm done.
Okay, so I went to a storytelling night last night.
Yep.
And have you ever been to one before?
I've been to lots of storytelling nights. I've done lots of storytelling nights.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, they're great.
Your comedy has storytelling. My comedy has storytelling.
Correct.
It's natural that we have been to storytelling nights. However, I haven't been to a storytelling night in a really long time. I've just been to comedy nights.
Yeah, yep.
And for ages, I was like, oh yeah, storytelling. It's, there's a lot of similarities.
Sure.
Here.
Yeah.
However, I went to a storytelling night last night. There's very little similarities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is no respect for time.
Yeah.
Like that everyone went over. I couldn't stand it. I was like, it's a 5-minute story.
There's a red light for a reason, guys.
Oh my God, there was the person was like doing there's someone like telling people when it's 5 minutes, they just are like, oh cool, great. And then they they would they would just keep going and then there'd be another sound like now you're up to 6 minutes and they just ignore that and they just keep going.
Of course, yeah.
And comedy just like, it's like get off.
Yeah, just get off. Come on, guys, get off. Finish.
And also the audience is so nice at storytelling nights.
Yeah.
And they're not nice, not that nice at comedy.
Not always.
They can be pretty brutal.
Yeah.
So I saw some stories last night that I was like, holy moly. So there's a comedian who we both know called Brett Blake.
Yes.
He is a lovely man, but he looks rough as guts.
Yes.
Okay. So he's got a mullet. He's from Perth. He loves dirt bike racing and he wants to do a story in his next show. And I said, well, you should come to the Moth because it's great. It has lots of stories in it.
Yeah.
And you can see just how someone constructs a 5-minute story. Like what details do they leave in? What do they like insinuate that lead us to be like, you know, you could make a huge story in 5 minutes.
Of course.
And I said, you should come and have a look. So he came along and I am still laughing at the stories that he saw because one of the first stories was a woman who was a doula. Do you know what a doula is?
No, I don't know what a doula is.
A doula is like not a midwife, but like a birthing support person.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so they've just done like, I don't know, a TAFE course or just like an online course or something. I don't know. And then so they're not trained as a midwife, but I'm sure they could do a lot of the things, but they're there to just like empower the woman.
Yeah, I'd like to meet the end wife.
Oh, for God. Oh, Jesus.
Anyway,
Christ. Her story was all about, it was actually a collection of little stories. In 5 minutes, she didn't just do one story. She did a million, I think she did 4 stories about how she empowered different women into having vaginal births.
Wow.
And I was sitting in the audience like losing my mind, thinking Brett Blake's in this theatre somewhere, having to listen to this.
Just
and the
hating
woman would say, the woman was like, so they're all very sweet stories, like, you know. And then she looked at me and I said, you can do it. I believe in you. And then you could hear the people in the audience do this, like just agreeing.
Yeah.
I was like, Brett is hating this.
Absolutely hating
so
it.
Much. But you can't, like, because the audience is so nice, you can't like laugh when it's bad.
No. And you know, they're there, like, you know, they're thinking, you know, these are really good stories and everything as well. And it's kind of hard. I think a lot of people think that they could easily tell a story or that they're in them and that they're really good at it. And then it's like doing a storytelling night or a comedy night is so fucking hard. Yeah. That's why a lot of people, you know, when you're doing comedy, people are like, oh my God, my friend is really funny, or my friend is the funny person in the office and everything. And it's a much different thing. Like a lot of comedians that I really like aren't really funny people. They're just really good at crafting a story, or they're really good at crafting like a bit. But it's a very different thing to get up there and try and tell a story. Like, it's so hard. It's such a different world.
And we had people who, because I've been to this storytelling night a bunch of times, but there were people getting up and I was like, oh, I've seen this person a few times in the story, and they would tell the exact same story. I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
It wasn't good to begin with.
Yeah. Why do you keep telling this story?
Still telling this story?
I used to do regular storytelling nights, and I remember just people telling stories that would just sign up on the night. Like, they'd have a sheet and they'd sign up on the night. They go, this is really nice. They really want to tell a story. And oh my God, some of them that would just go nowhere. Yeah. Like, people that would just end a story and you go, oh, that's the end.
Yeah.
Oh, we just clap now. Because it was like, oh, and then my dad said enough of that. You go, oh, your dad wasn't in the story. It's kind of like people that write on Reddit and write the spooky wooky stories. You're like, where did you learn to tell stories then?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're so smart.
Smart.
I love it though when people just go for it and you're like, oh, it's really sweet, but also I don't really know what you're doing.
There was one, because with this, and also they think that the more profound their story is, like the more emotional the stories are, then the more emotional they get, or the more vulnerable they are, the better the story is. But it's like, no, you still need.
Doesn't work like that. Yeah, you actually need a story. You need to start, middle, and end.
So there was my friend who did it as well last night. She was really nervous, and she told her story about being recently diagnosed with autism.
Wow. Yep.
And she was talking about how, what it was like to be diagnosed with autism and how that made her feel, and how it felt like the lights come off on at a nightclub, and you kind of look around and you think, oh my God, I thought I looked way cooler than this.
Right.
Now everyone, like, what did I look like? Have people been laughing at me? And it was this really like poignant way to describe it. But at the end, we were all on the stage having to like bow or whatever, and all in a line, and my mate and I were laughing about the whole process. We're like, this has been so fun, so funny. The night was lovely. The night was lovely.
Sure.
I'm not making fun of the night.
No, I know.
I was laughing at my friend, and she, one of the storytellers came over to my friend and said, I loved how you weren't really focused on like a plot or a story. You just rabbited it on for a bit. You just talked about your diagnosis.
That's so
good.
And
she went, and they framed it as a compliment.
Yeah.
And then they walked away, and I lost
It's so funny. You can phrase anything as a compliment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And because Claire, my mate, because she had mentioned, because she'd said, I'm autistic autistic now, but she's high functioning. She's like a very, very big deal.
Yep.
Because she phrased that the doula, who was a very sweet lady, just treated her like she was very disabled. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you going to be able to remember it? All right. And when Claire finished, the doula said to her, well done for remembering all of it. Oh my
You definitely remembered all of it.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
That's so funny. Hey, Chooks, we want to hear from you if you've got any wonderful storytelling nights that you remember. Bad gigs. Bron loves bad gigs.
Yeah. If you ever seen someone bomb? Like, and tell us what happened and why.
Yeah, really, just really bad stuff. We love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I also would like, and this is a further request, I have already mentioned it, but because I do spooky wooky stories, and as you can see, it seems the internet says anyone's allowed to write one. Could you please do your best at writing one? It can be
listener ones.
Like if you think it is scary, write that. Or if you just think you can have a go at whatever the fuck it is, do that.
We'd absolutely love that. Hey, Chooks, have a wonderful weekend. Please do leave us a 5-star rating, 5-star review. We'd absolutely goddamn love that. Have a wonderful weekend, Chooks.
Waka waka chookies.